Dear students, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to grade 10. From Noor School and College Mansehra, I am your teacher M.Awais Kashmiri. Dear students, as you know that we are discussing the exercise of unit number 3 which is a poem Dreams. In first lecture, we discussed paraphrase and explanation of the poem. In second lecture, we discussed first part of the exercise which contained glossary, comprehension questions and MCQs. So we have already discussed these 3 points. Today we are going to discuss transitive verb and intransitive verb, class and types. Types on the basis of structure: main class, subordinate class and relative class. Dear students, now we move toward the grammar portion of the exercise. First we have transitive and intransitive verb. So before moving toward transitive and intransitive verb, look at these two examples. I watched a movie. I watched a movie. The second example is Asma shouted in the class. Asma shouted in the class. So we have two sentences. In first sentence you can see that verb is watched. Verb is watched. And object in this sentence is a movie. A movie. Okay. In second sentence, Asma shouted in the class. Shouted is verb and the class is object. In first sentence, you can see that verb is directly linked with object. Verb is directly linked with object. In second sentence, you can see that verb is not directly connected with object. We have in between the verb and object. So a verb which has a direct object, a verb which has a direct object is called transitive verb. Transitive. Okay. A verb which has direct object is called transitive verb. And in second sentence you can see that verb is not directly linked with object. So a verb which does not have a direct object is called intransitive verb. Intransitive. So in first sentence verb has direct object, so it is a transitive verb. It is a transitive verb. And in second sentence the verb does not have direct object, so it is an intransitive verb. Okay. Now we are moving toward exercise grammar. Transitive and intransitive verbs. Do as directed. Choose the sentence that does not have an intransitive verb. Choose the sentence that does not have an intransitive verb. Means you need to choose such a sentence in which you have transitive verb. So I jog. The child gurgles. I watched a movie. I watched a movie. Look student, a movie is object and it is directly linked with verb. So it is a transitive verb. So what the question is, choose the sentence that does not have an intransitive verb. So it is the correct option which does not have a transitive verb. Okay. Intransitive verb. It is a transitive verb. Choose the sentence that does not have a transitive verb. Now opposite of the first one. Now we are going to choose such a sentence in which we have intransitive verb. Okay. He presented a bucket. It is a transitive because directly linked with object. Verb is directly linked with object. He waved his arm. So his arm is object, so which is directly linked. She understood my question. My question is a object and it is directly linked with verb. She laughed heartily. So we don't have object here. We don't have object here. So it is an intransitive verb. We don't have a transitive verb in this part. Now I hope you people are clear with transitive and intransitive verb. Number 3, choose the sentence that does not have a transitive verb. The birds are flying. The birds are flying. So we don't have a transitive verb in this sentence. Number 4, choose the sentence that does not have an intransitive verb. So the customer is buying pancakes. So buying is verb and pancakes is object which is directly linked with verb. So it is transitive, and he is asking about which does not have an intransitive verb. So this is the sentence which does not have an intransitive verb. So B is the correct option. Choose the sentence that does not have a transitive verb. So Asma shouted in the class. So it is intransitive, and he is asking about which does not have a transitive verb. So this is the sentence which does not have a transitive verb. D is the correct option. Choose the sentence that does not have an intransitive verb. So the student is answering the questions. So answering is verb and question is the object of the sentence. So it is directly, and he is asking about which does not have an intransitive verb. So this is the sentence which does not have an intransitive verb. So A is the correct option. Now number A, write in B portion, pick out 5 transitive and 5 intransitive verbs from the story The Champion. So he is asking about the second unit. So you need to choose 5 transitive and 5 intransitive verbs. So as you already have learned that what is a transitive verb and what is intransitive verb. So now I hope you can find these types of verbs. Present participle or past participle. Write the verb in parenthesis in the correct form, present participle or past participle. Dear students, do remember present participle means ing form, fourth form of the verb, and past participle mean second form of the verb. Prepared by the best cook in town, the meal was sheer poetry. Prepared by the best cook. Prepared by the best cook. So past participle is used. Second form of the verb is used here. After study all day. After studying all day. After studying all day. So sentence structures requirement is present participle ing form. After studying all day, her head was aching in the evening. Lying on the sofa. So here you need to write lying. Lying on the sofa, they were watching TV. Lying on the sofa, they were watching TV. Everybody was shocked to hear the news. Shocked, past participle. Before leaving the house, I always check if all lights are switched off. Before leaving the house. Before leaving the house is the correct option. Leaving is the correct option. Next we have combine the following pairs of sentences by using participles present or past. The first one has been done. So, again we are using present participle and past participle. Sentence number 1. We met a boy, he was carrying a heavy bag. We met a boy carrying a heavy bag. So, he was has been removed. We met a boy carrying a heavy bag. Now we have to make these words, we have to change these sentences. The house was decorated with lights, it looked beautiful. Decorated with lights, the house looked beautiful. Decorated with lights, the house looked beautiful. Decorated with lights, house looked beautiful. The robbers saw the policeman, they ran away. So, seeing the policeman, the robbers ran away. Seeing the policeman, the robbers ran away. I found the door open, I went inside. So, finding the door open, I went inside. Finding the door open, I went inside. The police saw the body, it was floating down the river. The police saw the body floating down the river. The police saw the body floating down the river. So it was has been removed. The police saw the body floating down the river. Dear student, now we are moving toward the third part of the grammar, the clause. What is the clause? We have already discussed the concept of clause in detail. The clause. Clauses come in three types. Main clause or independent clause. Subordinate clause or dependent clause. Relative or adjective and noun. Every clause has at least subject and verb. So this is the definition of the clause, that clause is a group of words which has a subject and a predicate. A predicate means a verb. So main clause. First we are going to learn about the main clause. Okay. Look at the examples. Lazy students always complain. Lazy students always complain. So first we have subject and then a verb. First we have subject and then a verb. So here is our subject, lazy student, and here we have verb. And third thing, it is giving a complete sense. It is giving a complete sense. So what is a main clause? A main clause will follow this pattern. First we will have subject, second verb, and such subject and verb in such a pattern that these give a complete thought, these give a complete sense to us. Okay, so lazy student is subject and always is verb, and when we make a sentence lazy student always complains, so it is giving us a complete thought. Students is subject and complain is verb. Second sentence, water spilled over the glass and splashed into the counter. Again we have the same pattern. Which pattern? Water is subject, okay, and spilled and splashed are the verbs. Spilled and splashed are the verbs. So again this clause is having the same pattern, that first subject and then verb, and the third thing that it is giving a complete sense. My cat loves milk. My cat is a subject and loves is verb. So again it is giving a complete sense, so it is main clause. So the important point to remember is that every sentence must have at least one main clause. So a sentence is a group of words which have subject and predicate and give complete sense. So sentence must contain a main clause, one main clause. Okay. Now we are moving toward the second kind, that subordinate clause. What is subordinate clause? So a subordinate clause will follow this pattern. Before going toward pattern, we need to understand an example. Whenever lazy students complain, so this is a conjunction, okay, subordinating conjunction. This is conjunction. Lazy students is the subject and complain is the verb. But look students, whenever lazy students complain, it is not giving a complete sense to her that about which thing, about what we are talking. So it will follow the following pattern: subordinate conjunction, plus subject plus verb, okay, and overall it will not give you a complete thought. Okay, so this is subordinate clause. First we have subordinating conjunction, that subject then verb, and overall it will not give you a complete sense. You can look at other examples as well. As water is spilled over the glass and splashed onto the counter, not giving a complete sense. Subordinating conjunction, then water subject, then spilled and splashed, verbs, but not giving a complete sense. Because my cat loves milk, not giving a complete sense. Because is a subordinating conjunction, cat is subject and loves is verb, so it is not giving a complete sense. Okay, so it is a subordinate clause. So what is subordinate clause? In which we have subordinating conjunction first, then subject, then verb, and then it will not give you a complete thought. Dear students, it is enough for today. In next lecture we will go for some more kinds of clauses. So what you people have learned today, that is transitive and intransitive verb. So what is transitive verb? Verb which contains a direct object is called transitive verb. Like I watched a movie. So watched is verb and a movie is object. So object is directly linked with verb. Okay. And intransitive verb. What is intransitive verb? Asma shouted in the class. A verb which does not have a direct object. So shouted is verb and the class is object, so which is not directly linked with the verb. We have a gap in the form of preposition in. So a verb which does not have a direct object is called intransitive verb. Then we learned the use of present participle and past participle. So we corrected a few sentences, like we are using here past participle and here present participle. Okay, so present participle mean ing form and past participle mean second form of the verb. Then by using present participle and past participle, we shortened a few sentences without changing their meaning. And then we went for clauses, that on the basis of structure we have three kinds of clauses, that is independent clause, subordinate clause, or relative clause. So main clause or independent clause follows the following pattern: subject plus verb plus complete thought. And subordinate clauses follow the following pattern: subordinating conjunction, subject, verb, and then incomplete thought. So what's your homework today? Your homework is write 3 clauses of each kind that you have learned today. Write 3 clauses of each kind that you have learned today. So you have learned today main clause, or independent clause, and subordinate clause or dependent clause. You need to write 3 examples of each kind. Take pics of from your notebooks and send it to me. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching.